Let's again take a deep breath and a complete exhale. Because that is the quickest way to return our blood pressure and our whole being into alignment. Whenever we get into an escalated situation, we stop breathing, right? It's part of our normal fight and flight response. And everybody holds their breath for a second. So to consciously take the second to breathe and celebrate is part of it. And then the whole journey in life is about letting go, too, of the mistakes. We had just been singing about it. It couldn't have been more perfect if I had planned it. Someone just came up to me in this break and said, I thought for a second you had planned that. And it was, no, not at all. So that's okay, because even though it's part of the cycle of life, we still resist it, I've noticed. Like, it's fall. I was driving here to work today, and the trees are all changing color, and they are falling everywhere. I am scooping up leaves at my house, and there is a little resistance to accepting that, it is another season has gone by, and the trees are going to be bare, and things are changing once again. And here on the West Coast, in California specifically, that means hopefully with the rain, everything will turn green again. But it is still a change that we sometimes resist. And nature is just another example of how we resist change in ourselves, right? The epidemic of products and services and things that we can all do so that we don't look our age. Right? That we resist the reality of our bodies changing as we grow older and hopefully wiser, right? But we keep slathering things on. I know I do. I've injected my face with stuff, all the things we are told that will be a great way for us to look more youthful and vibrant and all those things. And yet the reality is we are perfect and whole, and we teach that. This is me. I've earned all these wrinkles. Right? I have earned all the things that have happened to my body, and I'm still here working and striving and growing and learning. So while this was our opportunity to fall back and set our clocks back, I think it's the perfect opportunity for us to fall forward, just to really look at our lives and our totality of our being, our mistakes, our successes, all of it, and use it to fall forward into who we're really here to be. Fall forward into the infinite possibilities of our divine life. Our opportunity to fall. Lisa has a song that I heard a decade ago that so encompasses this. How we have to let go in order to fall forward.
Someone I am is waiting for courage. The one I want, the one I will become, will carry catch me. So let me fall if I must fall. I won't heed your warnings. I won't heed them. All I ask, all I need, let me open whichever door I might open. Let me fall. If I fall, though the phoenix may or may not rise, I will dance so freely, holding on to no one. You can hold me only if you too will fall away from all these useless fears and shame. Someone I am is waiting for my courage. There we go. The one I want, the one I will become will catch me. So let me fall if I must fall. I won't heed your warning. I won't let me fall. If I fall, there's no reason to miss this one chance, this perfect moment. Just let me fall.
Miss Misa Malone. Miss Misa Malone. And no, that wasn't planned. Only Misa could sing that song so exquisitely and give a visual demonstration of falling in the middle of the song and recovering. We let her fall, and she let herself get picked back up. Thank you, Misa. Mistakes are the portals of discovery. James Joyce. Does that feel like that right now, Misa? Absolutely not. But mistakes are the portals, when we allow them to be, for us to be transported to another level. right? To another place of understanding and another place of being in the world. There's a saying that mistakes make you wiser. And if that's true, it makes me a genius. Right? Because I did not get to this pulpit in this spot, in this job, by doing everything right in my life. As many of you have heard me talk about before, I was a crack addict. 20 years ago, I checked myself into rehab for a transformation of my life, and I went in kicking and screaming on many, many different levels, and it wasn't my first time in rehab either. But all those mistakes, all those different things led me to this place where I can stand here and talk to you about it in authority yeah, I've been there. I have been that angry man. I have been that wounded person, that wounded soul. And it does not change the world. All it does is create more wounds and more need for protection. It makes us armor up. It makes us shut off. It makes us not do what we need to do because we don't realize then that we have a part in this. You know, we will have in our staff meeting on Tuesday when the staff comes together and when the board talks about this too, we'll talk about how we can improve. We had a part in that interaction, folks. It wasn't happening just to us, right? We all had a part in it, meaning the people who are responsible here. First-time guests, you're absolved. For the Catholics in the room, that was a joke. Right? And so we come to this moment in all different areas of our lives to own our stuff, right? To own our stuff because we cannot clean up other people's stuff. I can't even clean up my 5-year-old stuff, right? Much less anyone else's. We get this opportunity to embrace our mistakes, to really literally wrap our arms around them and ask them what they have to teach us. Unless, of course, they are your ex. That may not be the best method, but I am lucky in that way. Both of my exes are both dead, so it's much easier to make peace with them. No, I'm serious. I didn't kill them. Let's be really clear. That was not my violent outbreak, you know? That wasn't one of those things I need to atone for. They died long after I had broken up with them. But my exes have left the planet. But I've still continued to do the work I need to do with them because I was not blameless in the relationships. The relationships didn't fall apart because they were so wrong. We both worked together to make those relationships need to end, right? And there's been lots of opportunities and places in my life where we have voluntarily come to the end of relationships. And get this, divorce can be amicable, right? But we're not taught that in our society. We're taught that you need to defend and protect and get everything you can get, when the truth is that you are whole and complete right here and now, and that nothing can be taken from you. Nothing can be taken from you unless you give it. Give your dignity, give your peace of mind, give your love. The love I gave to those relationships was the best I could do in the moment. I can see that now, right? And I can stop beating myself up for it. And I can continue to give love to those exes right here and now. And it's actually because they're not here on the planet, there's a way I understand that they can feel it more directly than if they were still here, but we were on opposite sides of the planet, or we had both moved on, and there was just a different situation. My husband, who's on his way right here with our youngest right now, tells this story about his cousin. Her her cousin's parents had a horrible divorce. They couldn't be in the same room together. And all the time she was raising her children, she'd have to have two different parties, one for the mom and one for the dad, so they could celebrate the grandchildren. And finally, when the son graduated high school, she said, I'm done. I'm throwing one party. They can both be at the party. They can be on opposite sides of the house. And she's in the kitchen getting the party ready, and she looks out on the porch, and on the porch, her mom and dad are out there having a laughing, hysterical conversation. And she was like, okay, miracles do happen. I expect a miracle every day. And her dad walks into the kitchen and he said, honey, who is that delightful woman out there? He had forgotten that he hated her. He had forgotten all the pain of the relationship, right? And I've told that story before, so if you've heard it before, please excuse me, but there's a lot of fresh ears in the house. And I think it really exemplifies how we carry forth the wounds. And we carry forth the bitterness when there's endless opportunities for us to own our own mistakes and to forgive and forget so that we can move on. Maya, who sat in this community, says it this way: you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Right? Whew, what an empowering statement, Miss Angelo. Wow. I can choose not to be reduced by the things that are happening in my life in any moment, globally or personally, here in the moment, in an intimate and personal relationship or in a broad nations. How many wars have been fought and are being fought about who's the bigger victim? Who got most wronged, and therefore the other one deserves what they're getting right now? How many times must we play that same story over and over again till we all collectively grow up? Well, here's the thing, folks. We're the ones who have to grow up. It's not up to the nations of the world. It's not up to the leaders of the world, because guess what? We keep electing them, or they keep taking power from us because we allow it. We allow it to happen. So who do we have to be? Who do we have to be to change the world? We have to be willing to fall forward. Have to be willing to accept our mistakes, to name them, to claim them, and to forgive ourselves so that we can become something greater than we've ever known before. That Ken from 20 and 30 years ago would not have handled this situation in this room the same way, right? He would not have. And so I'm grateful that I have the responsibility of safety. Because what happened to me right then, I think, is indicative of what happens in all of us, right? I was scanning it to see if we were in danger because of everything that happens in the news. I was scanning to look and see if there was a threat to us because of all the stories I hear about what happens in our society. That's a normal reaction. But what doesn't have to happen after that? Are you okay? You need some water, Elizabeth? Yeah. Somebody can get her a glass of water? That'd be great. Okay. So we take this moment, David, thank you. We take this moment to go, oh, whew, there's something else going on here. I can receive the anger. I can receive the hostility, but not have to give it back. Because then at that moment, it can dissipate. It can dissipate into something that we can then use. Now, how do we do that? Oscar Wilde says that experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. And I really do like it much more as experience, right? The experience of life itself has taught me to be present, to be with each other. Yeah. Right? In little ways to find out that if our fellow people right in front of us are okay, and the people who cross our paths are okay, or the people in Israel, and the people in Gaza, and the people in this city who are homeless, the people in this city who don't have enough to eat, right? The people all across America who need our attention too. There is no lack of need for our compassion, but here's the good news. There's no limit to our compassion, except if we lock it up and put it away. There's no limit. You're not going to run out of the amount of compassion you have in your heart. There's not a way that you could possibly use up all the love that is inside of you. There's no way that you can even return all the love that has been given to you. I'm going to say that again. There's no way that you can return all the love that has been given to you. Not a single one of you sitting here is sitting here or online. You're not here because you did it all yourself. From the moment you were born, there were people all around the globe who were lifting you up. There were people in your community, in your home, in your life, in your family who helped care for you, feed you, bathe you, comfort you. And if they were not the perfect ones, because God knows I know that story too, there were others who came in and filled in. There were teachers and mentors and people along the way and lovers and exes who helped you through all of those stages and got you the education, got you the presence, got you to the physical point where you can sit here in this room today and discern how to fall forward and how to live an abundant and useful life. That is all because many people have showered you with love, compassion, empathy, and support. And you and I can never, ever pay it all back. But there's no need to worry about that because there's no order in love. There's no order in the amount of love. There's no order in miracles. A small, tiny amount of love and compassion can shift any situation, can shift any disease, shift any life into something that is truly, truly worth living. Nelson Mandela was a bomber. Remember this? He was a radical terrorist against apartheid, right? And he was imprisoned, rightly or wrongly, unjustly or whatever, because of the bombs and the work he was doing. But what he became transcended everything that went before. What he became was something that we can all really even struggle to grapple with. That when Nelson Mandela says things like, the only time I was really in danger in prison when I lost compassion for my jailers, right? It wakes us up to that's who we're called. That's falling forward. That being locked up turns out to be the best thing for the whole planet. That being incarcerated or seeming to fail at something in our lives transforms us into something greater. Then we can fall forward into a life that does make a difference. I'm going to take this to our time of meditation. Time for all of us to understand that we all fall down, that we all don't meet the mark. In archery, there's a term for when an arrow shoots out and misses the bullseye. It's called a sin. That's where the term comes from. It's from archery. And that we all sin, right? I know I refuse to say I'm a miserable sinner. I'm a delightful sinner. Right? Because I am delightful, aren't I? I'm willing, and so humble too, right? I am willing to admit that I miss the mark frequently. And that as I embrace that, the possibilities expand. Let's take that to our time of meditation.